All right, ladies, let's start our warm-up. Okay, baby skips, arm circles. Good. Okay, walk back on your toes. Vary the direction of your feet. Toes in, toes out. Good. Go. All right, block clearance part 2. So then, block clearance begins with a CNS response to the skills involved. When clearing the blocks, the first movement is based on powerful explosion. The drills that are listed are helpful when used in conjunction with weight room exercises to enable your athletes to become more powerful. If you don't have access to a weight room, you're going to have to do body weight exercises. Okay? You have to make your athletes more powerful. You have to make your athletes more powerful. Sprinters are powerful people. Okay? You're not going to have them go run a mile. You're not going to have your milers come run the 100 meters. Okay? They are the most powerful people on the track. You have to develop their power. Maybe you have to fight with the athletic director for weight room use. Okay? And if that's your situation, I can relate to what you're going through. Because when the football team is not in season, they're wanting to lift after school. But guess what? They're not in sport. You are. Fight for the weight room. Fight for the weight room. You're in sport. They're not. First skill that we want to understand is that of the Valsalva Maneuver. If I were to how many know what that is? Good, a couple of you. Excellent. Okay. If I were to hand you a brand new jar of jam and I say open that, can you visualize what that person would do? What would that person do? Wouldn't they do this? Wouldn't they take a great big breath to release that power that's in them? To create greater tension in their torso? That's what the Valsalva Maneuver is. Okay? Set. And as they come to the set position, they're taking a deep breath. Okay? They're creating that inner tension in their torso. So that when the gun goes off, okay, they've got that power there. Okay? Feet low. You remember Usain Bolt out of the blocks? What was he doing with his back leg? Dragging it. Okay? I suspect that was coached. I don't know. But if I come out of the blocks and my foot does this, how long does that take? Okay? Have an eye. Interpret what you see. If my athlete's feet are coming up here like this, I'm losing time, big time. Okay? We need to cut the calf. Okay? The foot will come through this way, not up. Watch your athlete's feet. They have to be close to the ground. Angle at 45 degrees. This is a big concern for some people for some reason. If you coach your athletes to push back against the blocks and to keep driving for as hard and as powerful and as long as they can, guess what their body's going to do? It's going to go into an angle. And about 85 to 90% of the time, it's going to be close to 45 degrees. All you have to do is to encourage them, to stress, to force them to push back against the ground powerfully. And they will get into that approximate 45-degree angle. Number 4, knee to the chest and back. Think one movement. One of the things that stood out to me regarding Usain Bolt's start was that his back leg in the block was forward and down so powerfully it caught my eye. It was as though the two parts were one motion. and the amplitude, the power. His knee comes all the way up to his chest. Now think about that. Such a dynamic movement, and yet, because of the power, because of the number of white twitch muscles he has, he did it so fast as to not be beat out of the blocks. But yet that knee was coming all the way out and all the way back with such power that he, in his 6'5" frame, was not beat by anybody out of the blocks. Amazing. Just amazing. So, this leg here, down, out, and back in one movement. Okay? And if you have one side doing it, the other side will do it. Powerful arms, but not locked. This was the old school. We want to lock a 90-degree angle and be very, very powerful with it. Well, that's old school. We want to understand that a long lever is slow. This is a long lever. This is a short lever. Okay, the old metronome thing, you know? When the thing waits way up on top, it goes tick, tick, tick. Same thing for your legs, right? But we're talking about arms now. You lower the weight and it goes tick, 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 tick. Okay? So if I want my arms to be powerful and fast, it's powerful here, short here. Long, short. Okay? Don't lock their arms into a 90-degree angle and tell them to be powerful. What it's going to do, it's going to slow them down. They're clearing the blocks, and they have to have drilled certain things. Imagery. Every single one of your sprinters could have, theoretically, a different picture in their mind of something that they can relate to that's going to enable them to get out. Maybe some see themselves as a cannonball being shot out of a cannon. Maybe some see themselves as a cheetah. Maybe some say, well, you get the idea. They have to have, not you. Tell them to get an idea in their mind of something that they can relate to that will enable them to clear those blocks as fast as possible. Okay? They have to have something in here, something that they can relate to. Intensity. In my communicating with you today, I've tried to be dynamic. I've tried to carry myself with a certain amount of intensity. And I know all of you aren't like that, but doggone it, you need to be partly that. Okay, I don't know what your temperament is, but you're dealing with sprinters, and you may go out there, next week and say, hey guys, I'm going to change a little bit. I'm going to be a little bit different person for you. Just tell them up front. I just know that your athletes will pick up on your demeanor. And if you're dealing with sprinters, people, there are times when they have to get up for it. Okay? We were doing stick drills. You know what stick drills are? Progressive intervals, increasing. Okay, we'll be going over that. And this one gal who I think might be a real talent. She only ran 13.1 in high school, but she's starting to run with the guys now. I mean, she's staying with, maybe a meter back with some of the guys that have run 11.4, 11.5. So we have great hope for her, regardless. Her start is average at best. And her best start the other day was when I did this. I'm going to get loud, so forgive me, okay? You guys powerfully explode out of the blocks. Powerfully explode out of the blocks. And the third time I yelled it at him. And guess what? She had the best start of the day. And I said, did you feel that? I want you to remember what you just felt. Because I want you to be able to do it every time. Okay? The visualization aspect is to be able to see yourself doing the drills, the skills that you've taught them. They have to see themselves doing it in their heads. They have to see themselves hitting the first motion. They have to see themselves keeping their feet low to the ground. They have to see themselves pushing back against the blocks and against the ground so that they'll go to that 45-degree angle. Okay? They have to visualize that. They have to see it ahead of time. And they feel it. Do you notice that I used the word feel a second ago? I want you to remember how you felt. So much of sprinting is kinesthetic. There's a certain feeling that the athletes get. And they can tap into that. Remember, you've got athletes that are visual learners, some are auditory learners, you know. You have to tap into it all. One of the things that they all can relate to is, I can remember that feeling. That's it. Good. Good.